It's Monday, February 24th, 2020, and here's what's happening. A Jamestown man is facing charges following a pursuit. The details. Plus, Governor Andrew Cuomo is pushing for a ban on all flavored e-cigarette products, the latest in that fight.
And a look over Mayville shows you the partly sunny skies, and the clouds will continue thickening up through the day, but two storm systems are heading our way for the week. We'll talk about it next as the news starts now.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
And thanks for joining us for WNY News Now. I'm Justin Gould. Our top story, a city of Jamestown man is facing charges following a vehicle pursuit that started in the area of South Main and Harrison Streets late last night. Jamestown police tell us they attempted to stop 27-year-old Samuel Gigliano, who was allegedly driving recklessly just after 7 o'clock. Gigliano allegedly refused to stop and fled from officers who gave pursuit as he continued to drive recklessly and at one point struck a vehicle traveling in the area of Fairmount and Whitley Avenue. Now, police say the chase continued to Catlin Avenue, where Gigliano allegedly rammed into a Jamestown police car, causing heavy damage to the vehicle. Officers say he then fled from his vehicle into a nearby house on Catlin Avenue. Police say Gigliano was eventually taken into custody without further incident, and he faces several charges. And a city of Jamestown man is facing charges after allegedly choking a woman and preventing her from leaving a Bush Street address early on Sunday. Jamestown police say the woman attempted to escape the residence through a bedroom window. However, 26-year-old Antonio Hall allegedly pushed her back into the apartment, preventing her escape. The woman was eventually able to escape the house and made it to a nearby vehicle, but was confronted by Hall. Police say he then struck that vehicle's mirror with a hammer, causing it to break. The woman then fled the area in her vehicle, although officers say Hall attempted to search for her at a nearby house on Jefferson Street. Police say he was arrested while attempting to break into that home. Officers say Hall was taken to Jamestown City Jail pending arraignment in the case. And New York State's governor has renewed a push to ban all flavored e-cigarette products, including menthol. WNY News Now's Craig McFadden has more on specifically what he plans to do.
The campaign builds on Governor Cuomo's continuing efforts to reduce the amount of vaping and tobacco use in New York, especially among young people. Cuomo says the proposal aims to ban all online, phone, and mail order sales of e-cigarettes for personal use. Only registered retailers would be allowed to buy the products using those methods. Matthew Myers, the president for the Campaign for Tobacco-Free Kids, spoke on the state of New York's long fight against tobacco use.
As a result of that long-standing commitment, cigarette smoking among high school kids in New York dropped from over 27% just 20 years ago to under 5% today. It's hard to overstate how important a public health victory that is.
Despite New York State's victories in limiting tobacco use, the governor fears this trend is even more dangerous than cigarette use itself.
This is a cigarette in a different wrapper. And by the way, may even be a more dangerous wrapper because we don't even know. We don't even know what the chemicals are, what it means to inhale this. And it's marketed as, this is cool. You want to be cool. You feel peer pressure. You want to be the cool kid in school. You want to be cool at the party. All the cool kids do it.
The legislation also will restrict vaping ads related to kids. Cuomo believes there is a, quote, whole marketing machine that is selling vaping to kids as cool, and it is up to the government to protect them.
This is one of those situations where government has the obligation to step up and protect young people.
The state said, despite claims from companies that they don't target children, the evidence shows otherwise, with teen use of e-cigarettes up 160% from 2014 to 2018. Governor Cuomo spoke on the importance of the legislation being passed.
This is literally a matter of life and death. Literally every day more kids are getting addicted, and this is a top priority. I've included it in my budget, but one way or the other, by April 1, this has to become law. and there is no excuse for it.
For WNY News Now, I'm Craig McFadden.
Craig, thank you. Cuomo's office says despite claims from companies that they don't target children, evidence shows otherwise, with teen use of e-cigarettes up 160% from 2014 to 2018. The Chautauqua County Democrat Committee has endorsed a City of Dunkirk attorney as its candidate for Chautauqua County Executive. County Chair Norm Green says that 45-year-old attorney Richard Moriski will take on Chautauqua County Executive P.J. Wendell in this fall's election. Wendell was appointed by the county's lawmakers during their legislature's reorganization meeting back in January, after now New York State Senator George Borrello left the office. Moriski has a general law practice with offices in Dunkirk and Buffalo. He currently lives in Dunkirk with his wife, mother-in-law, and 2 sons. Now, Green additionally says that the Democrat committee endorsed Chautauqua County District Attorney Patrick Swanson for re-election and congressional candidate Tracy Matrano. Well, the Jamestown City Council is expected to vote on a more than 20-page resolution continuing the legal effort to annex a Board of Public Utilities electric substation tonight. Now, over the weekend, city officials amended the public agenda of the monthly voting session to include this 28-page resolution that would allow the city's legal team to continue the case to annex the Dow Street substation in the town of Ellicott. Jamestown Mayor Eddie Sundquist previously asked the council back in November to table the move to allow his administration time to review details of the case. City lawmakers voted 7-1 to move forward with the second attempt to annex then. The previous attempt to annex failed after Rochester's Supreme Court 4th Department Appellate Division denied the city of Jamestown's petition. BPU officials say the proposed annexation would save the utility approximately $173,000 in property tax payments to the town, village, and school districts annually. Well, hopefully everyone is having a good Monday. We thank you so much for joining us here on WNY News Now. Let's check in with the comments and see how Joe is doing. Hello to you. Hello to Pam as well. Hopefully you're having a good day. Good afternoon to David. He says good day to all. And hello to Brenda. Great to see you here on the broadcast. Let's switch gears and get a check of our First Defense weather forecast with Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter, who's standing by with that. Happy Monday to you, Dakota. Good to see you.
Happy Monday, Justin, and I hope you all went out and enjoyed the weekend because it was fantastic. We'll talk about it in just a couple of minutes. Here's a live look coming from the Mill Creek Mall in Erie. The traffic is flowing A-OK over there. Now, the radar here, not a whole lot showing up now. Actually, the Buffalo radar is down for maintenance, so what we did is that we stitched together multiple different radars here to show you what's going on here, but nothing. It's going to remain the way. It's going to remain that way through the day, but yeah, don't get used to that because as I told you, 2 storm systems are heading our way for the later week. 46 was the high yesterday. How about that? We should be near 37 this time of the year. 69 was the record high set back just a couple of years ago, and also a couple of years ago, the record low was set back in 2015 at 11 below zero. So here it is for the remainder of the afternoon. We have mostly sunny skies now, but the clouds are thickening up from west to east out ahead of our first storm system that's coming our way, but it remains mild. High temps 45 on the hills, 53 near the immediate Lake Erie waterfront, southwest wind 5 to 10. But first storm system tomorrow, then another storm system that drags colder air back in here, and yeah, we got to bring that S word back into the forecast. We'll talk about it in just a few. Justin.
All right, Dakota, thank you, no thank you, I suppose. Coming up, Chautauqua County's newest executive joins us live in studio to talk about his plans for this year and the upcoming fall election. And later on, we tell you about a campaign that seeks to help some local pets in need. Stay with us.
With coverage that matters. This is WNY News Now.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer, plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
Extra, extra, read all about it. Not tomorrow, but right now on the WNY News Now mobile app. Follow local news as it happens.
The mother of a special education student at Maple Grove High School is speaking out.
And stay informed with the Southern Tier's only 24/7 streaming network.
And Lake Erie is covered in less than 1% of ice as this winter season has entered its peak.
Download the WNY News Now app right now. It's free on the Apple App Store and Google Play Store.
Every cookie sold in the Girl Scout Cookie Program helps girls learn lifelong lessons in people skills, decision making, money management, goal setting, and business ethics. It's amazing how much you can learn from a cookie. The Girl Scout Cookie Program. Think outside the box.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
And welcome back to WNY News Now. Joining us in studio is Chautauqua County Executive P.J. Wendell. We thank you so much for being here today with us, sir, on the broadcast.
Thank you for having me.
So there's a lot really going on in Chautauqua County right now, and for you, you've had quite a long experience in county government as a legislator, and then this past fall with Chautauqua County Executive, the previous county executive George Borrello, being elected state senator. Lawmakers like yourself were tasked with the decision to find who was next, and they voted for you. Yep. There is a caveat where you're going to have to run for re-election come this fall. But what has the last really 2 months here being officially in the seat been like for you?
Well, Justin, it's been an experience. Somebody pointed out that I understood the office being in the legislature for 8 years and 4 years in leadership, 2 years as its chairman. I had an understanding and some good working relationships with the previous county executives, especially George Borrello. But once you leave, and I took this position as a county executive, the details of the day-to-day operation have really been amplified. There's a lot of things going on, meeting with different leaders of industry, different businesses. My department heads was a big piece that I wanted to get out of the way first, meeting them, finding out what they've been doing, what are their visions for them in the near future, especially this next year. And as the budget starts in July, it's really, I'm looking at it now and seeing how we start to develop into the new year, and then how we're going to prepare for next year and the budget process. It's a big concern. Our taxes are a big concern anywhere in Western New York, but especially here in Chautauqua County. So that's one of the first things I realized when I came into office was kind of that I don't say dark cloud, but it was that thing in the back of my head that was really concerning is taxes and making sure that our residents are given as much benefit as we can when it comes to taxes.
Right, and I would imagine that we've heard from county executives all across the state, and I know Senator Borrello now trying to champion that message, what he calls the lean and mean levels of county government, where there's hard decisions that have to be made, especially when dealing with looking at the budget for the next year. Do you see any challenges that you're going to really have to point out and have tough calls?
Well, I think that the biggest challenge right now is the Medicaid issue in New York State, as the governor has prepared in his budget. They've convened a Medicaid redesign team, the MRT as it's called, MRT2, because it's actually the second Medicaid redesign team that's been out there. So, they've been charged with trying to come up with some cost savings measures, and sitting down with the other county executives, as I was in Albany a couple of weeks ago. We've all voiced our concerns and really have been alarmed as to the formula they're using. We have to stay under the 2% tax cap and under 3% growth in our Medicaid. And that's really difficult because there are some challenges that we're faced with, including the eligibility requirements that are set forth by the state. So as we try to, wrap our heads around this, the state still controls the game, as you would say. So we just have to, move along with it. But, I have a lot of faith in our DHS office, Christine Schuyler and her staff have really been putting the numbers together. And this has been a collaborative effort statewide. All the financial officers from that deal with Medicaid in each county have been getting together, providing information, and those numbers have been getting out. So Medicaid and how it's going to impact our county budget, because the most of that is local share. That's going to be a big challenge as we face the budget year this year.
Is there a favorable outcome, a favorable path that you'd want the state to take on that?
Well, certainly. I think one of the things we need to do is the state should, we are one of the only states, if not the only state, that the counties are in charge of Medicaid, and most other unions across the country, it's based on the state. So, the governor has held us harmless thus far. They took this over in 2015. We would all like to see them continue, but some of the statements that have come from the budget office and from the governor himself as to the belief that counties have a blank check mentality is really discerning that we're doing our due diligence, especially when it comes to cost-saving measures and cost reduction. So we're doing the best we can, but to blanket and say that we have a blank check mentality is really, really discouraging as we prepared ourselves for the budget year.
Is there other big initiatives in addition to the budget that you and your office will be looking forward to pushing as we head throughout 2020?
Well, really, there's just any growth in Chautauqua County is what we're looking to do. Senator Borrello started with the Ripley Gateway Center. We're sitting down with members from the IDA, and Rich Dixon, Mark Geis have really been instrumental. They've been, hand in hand with me. We've been out visiting a lot of industries and a lot of businesses in Chautauqua County thus far, and sitting down and talking with them and looking at their concerns. But economic growth and economic development in the county is one of those things we're always looking for. It's not just a early year deal, or it's not something, but it's something that obviously, if we want people to stay here in Chautauqua County, if we want to have viable housing, we want to have viable, families and sustainability in Chautauqua County, we need to have those jobs and those industries staying here. So we've been, I've been promoting, our growth in industry. I've had a couple of people approach me. We have a couple of businesses that are coming into the area, a couple of things that are just starting right now, so I don't want to divulge too much for fear. But, realistically, there's some really good things. I sat in a meeting last Tuesday, and I get chills when I talk about all the new and exciting things that are happening here in Chautauqua County. And one of those things is where I'm, kind of using the banner, if you will, of unity of effort. And whether it's economic development, looking at our lakes and waterways, working together with our 27 towns and villages and 2 cities, that's what I'm going to encompass in my vision for Chautauqua County, is that unity of effort, making sure all of us are working together for the common cause. And it's all of Chautauqua County. It's not focusing on Jamestown. It's not focusing on Dunkirk, Fredonia, but it's really everybody in Chautauqua County, from Ripley to Minot, from Hanover to Carroll, everybody in between. These are all the people that I now represent as a county executive, and that's going to be my vision as I move forward, is to bringing the county to a new level and really having a lot of growth and prosperity.
Yeah, because a lot of people, when they think of this area, they think of young people going away, graduating from high school, going away to college, and never coming back. And I would imagine that's one of the big pushes for you as a former educator yourself, is to say, go get that experience, but come home, because we want to have something for you when you come here.
Certainly. I mean, looking in this office right now, yourself and Matt Hummel, former students of mine, and looking to see what you guys have done. But, I had a great opportunity of walking through Bush Industries last week, and we went up to their R&D and some of their marketing, and the youth that is in there. It's amazing. And not only, if you get a chance to look at a Bush Products catalog, every one of those pictures is phenomenal because it's all computer generated. Every one of those looks like it's something you would have done in a photo lab or in a studio somewhere where you're. But here, I watched one of the interns, and one of the employees, clicked the button, and just watching everything kind of form and come into what looks like a photograph that was taken in the studio. So it's amazing, the youth that comes in. There's experienced engineers and experienced people with the machinery, but when you look at the excitement of what's developing, there's a lot of youth. So the idea that people are moving away and not coming back, they may think that, but walking through Bush Industries last week, I would beg to differ. There's a lot of youth and experience. It's great.
Certainly. And you talked about cooperation here a minute ago. That'd be one of the big things. And tonight, kind of get your thoughts on this annexation battle that's happening here in Jamestown. It seems we're not sure what the city will be doing. We know that they're going to have a vote, and if they pass this resolution, they're going to continue to move forward with it. Are you for this type of a move, or are you against it?
Well, it's interesting. If I look at the dollars and cents, the county stands to lose money in this, so I would not be in favor of that. But realistically, what I want to see is that collaborative effort. What can we do for all the entities to work together? As I've often said this to people, as the county, we're kind of like the parent. I've got 2 cities, I've got towns and villages. I want to see everybody working together. I can't choose one entity over the other. And that I've said that to several people, and that's been my position on this is, I'd have to choose between one child or the other, and no parent would ever do that. And it's the same here. Do we stand to lose money? Yes, we stand to lose a considerable amount, $72,000 to $73,000. So that is concerning for the county. But more so, I want to see how these groups can work together and come up with some strategies and some out-of-the-box thinking to really mitigate this problem and get something to where we're all working together and that works for everybody. Will that happen? I don't know. Those at the table have to sit down and really, kind of roll up their sleeves and get to work.
Perfect. And one of the big things that I think you're going to probably have to face come this fall is running for that office again. And it seemed like it was such a meticulous process to get to where we are now, in the lawmakers having to change the way that the county executive would be appointed in an absence or a vacancy of the office. For you, having to campaign right out of the gate, so to speak, is that going to be challenging, do you think? Or do you think your record will be able to help kind of let people know, whether you're from southern Chautauqua County or northern Chautauqua County, that P.J. Wendell has done this, this, and this?
Well, I think, first of all, moving out, those are one of the first things I looked at when I sat down and talked this over with my family and colleagues in the legislature, that immediately, when I decided to put my name in the hat to be appointed, that I knew exactly what I would have to do in the upcoming year, and I knew I would have to run for re-election, which is something I committed right out of the gate. There was no question about that. So I'd have to run in the fall for the remaining 1 year, and then come back the following year and run for a 4-year term. So I knew that 2 years of campaigning is what I was in for, and that's something that I'm looking forward to doing and getting out there. That's just the point. I've looked, and really the way I approach it now is all of Chautauqua County, and really have been, getting away from the North County, South County, Jamestown and the Dunkirk, Fredonia areas, how I've been, terming things. But again, I've got 8 years in county government, 4 years in leadership, and 2 years as its chairman. I think the one banner that I'm flying under that is going to resonate throughout is that unity of effort, and it has been evident as I've worked in the legislature. We have a bipartisan effort going through with the legislature. Some would argue, obviously with a Republican supermajority that was easy, but still, we haven't, in even having that said, we still work together really well. When I was there as chair, Chuck Nazaro and Bob Bankowski have been great at working together, and everybody on the other side of the aisle. We have gotten away from the tumultuous contention that always took place in the legislature. We sit down, we talk about things, we work it out, and that's what I want to do. So to me, I don't look at it as a South County or North County issue. It's a Chautauqua County issue when something happens. So I'm going to use my experience and my track record of what we've done in the legislature, how I've led the legislature, and carry that over to how I lead the county. But first and foremost, as I took over as chairman, it's been that collaborative effort, that unity of effort that I'm going to use as I move forward. So I'm excited. I'm looking out to getting out to meet people in Chautauqua County more so. I want them to be able to put a name with a face and, shake the hands and talk to the men and women who live and work in Chautauqua County and really, get a feel for what we have to offer here.
Perfect. All right, County Executive P.J. Wendell, thanks so much for being on the program today. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
And we'll love to have you back soon to
Anytime.
continue to talk more about
Certainly.
that. So let's switch gears and get a check of our full forecast with Dakota Hunter. Hey, Dakota.
Hey, Justin, and let's take a look at the ski conditions, because even with the warmer temperatures, the ski conditions are not looking bad out there. Bases are good, surfaces are good, and obviously no snow over the past 24 hours. It's been too warm to obviously snow. 46 was the high in Jamestown again yesterday, 53. How about in Dunkirk? How about also 53 degrees there, 50 in Middleport up there in Orleans County, 45 in Olean, 47 Bradford. So it was a warm day. We have a couple more warm days to go, and then more Arctic air comes in. The warmer temperatures over the weekend help to melt some of the lake ice, and the only pieces of ice are kind of like right here on the Niagara Peninsula and coming up right here just west of Buffalo. The only ice concentration is down to 1.2%. It was at 6% on Friday. So with a wide open lake, you know what that means. Lake effect as we get a cold air mass to come on through. So here's what's coming up. It's quite mild this afternoon. 2 storm systems are heading our way. We kind of hinted this last week. The first one will be Tuesday through Wednesday. Widespread rain showers through the day, may mix with a few wet snowflakes, especially in the nighttime hours. Then the second storm system, strong cold front, essentially plows our way Thursday and Friday. Potential for heavy lake effect snow essentially southeast of Lake Erie on Thursday and Friday. Here we go with Future Scan. Nothing through the day. Now, tonight, this is the first storm system coming on in, so essentially rain showers will start, may mix with a few snowflakes. It's going to be on again, off again type of rain tomorrow, and then tomorrow night we may actually change over to all snow as we get a little bit of colder air. Here's a longer range model to show you the second storm system. So that's the first storm system we talked about moving out. Here comes the second one. Notice the wind direction shifting directly across Lake Erie. That's going to set up some pockets of lake effect going into Thursday and Friday, and some of this could be heavy. Again, we're too early to know any exact details in terms of accumulations, but it could be heavy in nature. This is the first storm system. It's actually west of Cape Girardeau, Missouri, and this is going to be taking a track to our south, and that's going to be the first storm system. Second one's back to our west. That's going to be plowing through here, essentially through here later. Lake Erie shoreline today, maybe near 50 or 52 in Erie. Nice warm day. Inland areas we go here. Temperatures in the upper 40s. This is mild. A hot day, definitely for this time of the year. Next 7 days are coming up right now, and you can see we stay mild through the rest of the week. More rain there. There's the heavy lake effect potential Thursday and Friday. Look at those temperatures back down into the 20s all the way through the weekend. Sports is next. Don't go away.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first. WNY Sports Now is powered by Phone Zone of Jamestown. With the largest inventory around, we buy and sell our own merchandise at a price that can't be beat. Have a broken screen? We'll fix it. Learn more at phonezoneshop.com.
Happy Manic Monday, sports fans, and welcome back to WNY News Now. I'm Norm Rodriguez with a look at sports. In the field of middle school basketball, the Washington Middle School Lobos boys basketball team won the 2020 city championships. This season, the team finished a perfect 11-0 and capped their season with a 44-18 win over Purcell Middle School on Valentine's Day. With their victory, Washington Middle School were crowned the Crosstown Classic champions. In their last 3 seasons, the Lobos have compiled a record of 36-1. Over the weekend, the Jamestown Rebels took on the first in the East New Jersey Titans at home. The Rebels walked out with a sweep, defeating New Jersey 5-3 on Friday and then 5-2 on Saturday. With the 2 wins, Jamestown jumped to 5th in the East with 43 points and are 2.5 games behind the Maryland Black Bears for a playoff spot. Jamestown will be back in action this Friday at 7 o'clock, in which they will play the Black Bears for 2 games for a chance to jump up to a playoff spot. At 1:05, the New York Mets are taking on the Washington Nationals as spring training is in full swing. The Mets are 0-2 in spring training, with their last game ending in a 3-3 tie against the St. Louis Cardinals Sunday. On the opposing end, the defending World Series champion Nationals are 1-1, losing 5-2 against the Miami Marlins in their last spring training game Sunday. The Mets will be back in action after this game Tuesday afternoon at 1:05 against the Detroit Tigers. That's it for sports today. Back to Justin and Dakota.
All right, Norm, thank you very much. Well, now we'll actually go to the footage we wanted to show you. The Chautauqua County Humane Society's 15th annual Pennies for Paws campaign that kicked off earlier this month is now looking to raise more than $13,000 for local animals in need. Officials with the Humane Society say that last year they helped over 4,000 animals with a variety of needs, including food, shelter, and medical care. Now, community members, schools, organizations, and businesses are asked to find creative ways to become involved and support area animals by collecting pennies. Collection containers are available at the Humane Society's Strunk Road location. And Dakota, although pennies are most common, they say that they'll take any sort of monetary donations, which can be made online by visiting chqhumane.org. The campaign runs through the end of April.
Fantastic there. And now, I'm assuming you probably have done the Pennies for Paws.
I have, yes. It's such a great event if you can support it. And you'd be surprised where you can find pennies in your home.
In the couch.
Crazy places, yeah.
In the chair.
In the couch, in pants.
Under the bed.
I no longer live at home with my mom, but you know, a few years ago when I was there, she said any money she collected from the laundry that was left over was hers. So that could always be a good way to kind of throw it back into that. But I wonder if today...
You see, the thing is you find money in the washing machine and the dryer, but your socks always come up missing.
Right, I know. Go figure.
It's like either the washer or the dryer eats them.
Yeah, no, they eat them. They eat them, so... Got to say hello to Tony, hello to Danny, hello to Tina and Connie as well. Thank you all so much for joining us. That's going to do it for the show today. Of course, news continues 24/7 at WNYNewsNow.com. When you're on the go, stay in the know by downloading our mobile app. It's free on the Apple App Store, Google Play Store. We leave you with the shot of Chautauqua Lake. See you tomorrow.